And because you know that we're influenced by our ancestors and our past lives. So I start the meditation, talking about the fact that your grandmother grew your egg. So what trauma did she have? Now, my mum and my granny, my mum was in World War II, my granny was in World War I. So, I've taken on all of that trauma. But if you go back, great, the amount of shit you've taken on from these people. And so, and we have to acknowledge that in order to start our journey forward.
Anything sort of natural, holistic.
Oh my God.
It's like the enemy right now, isn't it? Big Pharma just can't stand us learning anything natural.
I'm very rarely up on YouTube, because I'm normally on a ban, because you're not allowed to say anything on YouTube that isn't in full alignment with the World Health Organization. I now know one of the reasons my back had collapsed, the disc, was because my sister died of motor neurons disease, and your spine in metaconsciousness, so your body holds trauma and then that trauma shows itself to you. So your body believes everything that you tell it. So if you go, I've got really crap sinuses, your body goes, oh, we've got really crap sinuses. I can't breathe.
Oh no, I should definitely speak more positive, but my sinuses
you just go, sinuses, I'm sorry, can you just wake up a little bit and just try, just have an afternoon nap one day with some mouth tape on and see what happens.
Right, we are here today with an amazing guest, a very, very special lady, and I'm sure most people watching this will probably already know who she is. Her name is Philly J. Lay. How are you doing, Philly?
Oh my God, it is so lovely to be here. Make a circle.
Let's make a circle.
It is lovely to be here. Thank you so much, guys, for having me on the show.
Yes.
Welcome.
Philly finally got her here. Amazing. So I remember I actually met you. So there's a bit of a story now. Do you remember it?
No.
This was back in the old COVID protesting days, and me and a few of the boys, we were organising these like midweek protests, and you just turned up to one of them all by yourself, and I was like, who is this warrior lady? Just came along. I know that was very common those days. It was more women protesting than men, but I was like, she is an absolute warrior. She came down. I think you done a little interview with Sean.
I did.
Yeah, it was at King's Cross. That was it there. And I just thought, this woman is amazing. I absolutely love her. She came down, where is it you came from? Was it Oxford?
Oxfordshire.
All the way to be with her. Amazing.
Do you know, I had never been to a single demonstration in my life, which I am ashamed to say. And then 2020 happened, and I'm like, not on my, can I swear? Yeah, not on my fucking watch. Not on my fucking watch. And I just started an Instagram account, and I was looking everywhere thinking, where are the demonstrations? Where are the demos? And eventually I came across Ellie Gray. Yeah. And she was going to be at Speaker's Corner with a demonstration. So I bought this T-shirt that just said, fuck the new normal. And I had that on my shorts, and I put a mask over my head, just written on it, I'm done, which was kind of a very unattractive look that I had for every demo for the whole of 2020.
Sounds cool. You sound like a warrior on that.
2021. And I just got in the car and I drove to Speaker's Corner, parked outside, what's the posh hotel?
On Park Lane.
Yeah. So I just went in there and I gave my car to the doorman and slipped him 20 quid and said, can you look after my car? I'm going to the demo. And he looked at me. And I'm just like, yep, I'm at the demo. And I went, and there were like 300 people. And I'm like, where's the rest of the country?
Mm.
Where are they? But we built up. And yes, and I used to rock up to the midweek ones as well. That one where we got into ITV News and
that was
we did some great ones. I lost all of my friends of my old life. Not all. I still have 3 from my old life, and I just met this wonderful new tribe, and I love it because all the people around me, or the majority, are all young, vibrant, fun, amazing people. I'm like, oh my God.
You're vibrant and amazing.
You know, you said you lost all of your friends before. Was you like this before then? Because you said it's almost like you had a shift in yourself. Does that mean?
No, I was very middle England. You know, my daughters were at private schools and I was on the PTA and would run the gardening club and the ballet club. And
so when this all happened, it just went...
It literally, in 2020, I just saw red. I was so angry.
Because he's always been like this. And I'm thinking, you know, he's never stopped being like this. When it comes, it's like it came for him. So your life dramatically changed then.
I mean, I was quite loud at school. I remember my headmistress writing on one report, I hear every girl in my school but Philippa is by far the loudest. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. So, you know, I wasn't ever a shrinking violet, but I wasn't... I wasn't as, you know, I had had my awakening before COVID. So, you know, I was awake. I was struggling with my journey because people thought I'd gone mad. And so when it happened, it was like, yeah, bring it on. Let's get this out.
When was your awakening and when did you finally realise, you know what, I don't give a fuck what people think about me? Seriously.
It was a bit of a slow awakening.
Yeah.
Although quite dramatic. So 11 and a half years ago, I had a spinal fusion. And you know this story, yeah?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't know.
Oh, right.
We don't know.
So, I'll tell you. Sorry, I don't. In case people know it, it's just like, oh my God. So I had a spinal fusion, and they missed my spine with the anaesthetic, and I nearly died. And
I'm sorry to sound dumb, but what is a spinal fusion first of all?
Okay, so my spine, the bottom disc of my spine, had completely collapsed and shattered.
Oh.
So about 2 years earlier than that, I'd had what they call a spinal scrape. So I'd had surgery where they cut you open and where the disc has kind of bulged, they just cut the bulgy bit out.
You had a tail?
So, and they said to me at the time that bottom disc is in a bad way, so it might not last. And it didn't last. So 2 years later, I collapsed, I wet myself, which is, you know, kind of the minute you wet yourself, they say call an ambulance. And I'd been dragging my right leg for about 9 months. You know, I couldn't walk. I was having physio every day, but I couldn't walk. So I was in a bad state. So I had the spinal fusion. They missed my spine with the anaesthetic, nearly died.
Oh,
my life was actually not saved by a surgeon. It was saved by the registrar of the hospital.
The registrar?
Who apparently stayed by my bed on a mattress for 24 hours, held my hand and just kept saying, find your happy place. Where's your happy place?
Oh, Jesus. That was an angel.
Happy place. Yeah, a real life angel. And I couldn't find a happy place. I remember when they brought me round from the operation, and because I had no pain relief, so what they do is they're meant to put an epidural in your spine so that, you know, it's a 6-hour operation and they're, you know, picking out all the shattered bone and everything, cutting off all your nervous system, putting a metal cage in, then grafting it, you know, to the nerves and the bones and everything. So it's a long process. And so you have to have epidural so that you have no feeling when they bring you round from their general anaesthetic. But they'd missed my spine. And I can remember, and I will never forget the scream that came out of my mouth when they brought me round. The sheer pain of what I felt was extraordinary. And then I went unconscious. And then I had 24 hours with the registrar holding my hand. And after 24 hours, I still couldn't come round. So she phoned Danny, my now ex-husband, and said, bring the children in. And they actually thought that they had come to say goodbye to me.
That must have been
But they were my happy place, and I came round. And that was the first time I'd opened my eyes. But I was in a terrible state. I got home, and I just took to my bed. I couldn't walk. I had huge post-traumatic stress disorder. And then I was on a lot of opioids. I mean, vast amounts of opioids. And in the hospital, before I got out, they gave me a little clicker because they couldn't give me any more pain relief when they originally brought me round, because there was so much in my body, they would have killed me. So the fact that my body shut down and was unconscious for 24 hours was my body trying to clear the toxins as well. So that when they brought me round next time, I had my little morphine clicker, which I never, ever let go of. I had morphine patches. I had every opioid imaginable. And when I got home, I just started drinking with them. So there's a mum from the girls' old school that when Danny was away travelling, and he travelled a lot, she would take the children to school for me. And so she'd pick them up, and they would always come up to my bedroom, and I'd moved into my own bedroom. I couldn't have anybody touch me. The pain was vast. And they kissed me goodbye for the day, and then go off to school. And this mum said to me a couple of years later, I used to watch you on those mornings, and you would literally be downing handfuls of opioids with a bottle of wine at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, shit.
And it was the only way I could deal with the pain.
I think I see the story building up here. You've completely lost faith in basically the system, haven't you?
Well, I didn't then, do you know? I kind of thought, and Danny was saying, we've got to see a solicitor, and I couldn't. And there was huge post-traumatic stress disorder, and I couldn't talk about it. I just shut it out, brought in an iron wall and just went, no, I can't do that. And I stayed in my bed for 2 years. I had a lot of other shit going on in my life at the time. I now know one of the reasons my back had collapsed, the disc, was because my sister died of motor neurons disease. And your spine in metaconsciousness, so your body holds trauma and then that trauma shows itself to you. And the bottom disc is your root chakra. It's also that of not feeling supported or not supporting somebody. And I had felt very strongly that I hadn't supported Trish on her journey to pass, and that I had no support when she passed. So that's why it collapsed, but I didn't realise that at the time. I just thought it was because I trained as a dancer. And that's why that happened. Everything else started going on in my body, chronic fatigue. So Trisha died, lots of grief. Then one of my best friends had died of cancer. My mum was seriously ill and was later to pass, and my best friend and soulmate. So I lost the 4 women who basically formed who I was in a 2-year period. And I lost my health. And with it, I could see, I was losing my children because I couldn't be the mother that I used to be. I remember screaming at my baby when she tried to jump on the bed once to kiss me because the pain was so great. And I can just remember her little face crumbling because she had always jumped on me all her life, and now all of a sudden I was this untouchable mother.
That must have been heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. So everything was kind of falling apart, and then the other symptoms started coming in. So chronic fatigue, chronic brain fog, autoimmune diseases the whole time, everywhere, frozen shoulder. And then one day I noticed a big lump in my throat. So I went to my GP, and obviously I was this big fat lump of a woman that could barely move. And he was quite shocked because he hadn't seen me since before the fusion. So he was looking at me kind of going, oh my God, why didn't you come to me earlier? And I'm like, because I never wanted to see another doctor again in my life.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I had 2 young kids and I had this big lump in my throat. So he was really sweet, and he sent me to 4 consultants in a really quick period of time. And I just remember sitting there with these consultants going, is it connected? What's going on in my body? Is it connected? And they have no idea. They don't know. It's like, well, I'm going to operate on your tumour, but I'll try and save half your thyroid. I'm going to operate on your frozen shoulder. We have a 20% success rate. I'm going to wire your brain up. And I just sat there, and that was my awakening. And I just thought, oh, God, you haven't got a clue, have you, how the body works. So I had the tumour out because I felt pressurized to do it.
Was it a cancerous tumour, malignant?
It was benign, but it was cancerous.
Yeah.
And it was big, and it was growing over my thyroid. So they said, we've got to get it out now so we can try and save half your thyroid. So I had that out. I didn't know that there was any other way that you could deal with a tumour. I hadn't heard of castor oil packs or diet. I mean, I knew about diet a bit because I'd been a dancer, but not how phenomenal it could be on healing the body. I didn't know any of that. But the 2 years that I spent in bed, because all these women were dying around me, I spent a lot of my time trying to find anything I could to help them. So I was listening to docuseries after docuseries. I discovered Dr. McCullough. Everyone loves Dr. McCullough. And that was, I was beginning to wake up, kind of watching all of this. And then when they said it wasn't connected, I'm like, nah. So I had the tumour out and then gave up Western medicine and decided to go on a journey and heal myself naturally. And at 61 years old, I think I'm doing pretty darn good.
And I think that definitely explains the woman you've shaped into today with the whole naturopath world you've opened up, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, the minute 2020 happened and lockdown, I'm just like, oh, my God, I know exactly what you're doing. And I remember I was chatting with some guy on Tinder, actually. He was in America, but he was coming to the UK and he worked over here like a week, a month. And I thought, well, that's just about enough time I could put into a relationship, so I'll chat with you. And he said, well, obviously I'm grounded, I can't come to the UK. And this is in 2020. And I said, are you going to have the injection? But there isn't an injection, don't be stupid. And I went, oh, you complete and utter dick. What do you think this is about? Swipe, you're gone. So, you know, yeah. I was looking for those demonstrations from day one.
And I remember when you came, you was, you know, I think you was banging on about all the health aspects, and I remember it was the three, what was it? The 3 rules of 3. It was like you can live 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, and 3 minutes without
air. My God, you remember? Yeah, because I was saying, everybody get your masks off. You've got to be doing breath work.
Yeah.
You know, I had a phenomenal journey on healing myself. I learned so much, and it's true. You know, and the first thing you will do in your life, the minute you come out, you take a gasp of air, and the minute you pass over, you do a gasp of air, which is your death rattle. Breath work is singularly the most important thing you can do for your health, and yet they put everybody in masks.
Stop breathing.
Yeah.
What kind of breath work? What do you mean, like deep? Taking deep breaths, or what do you mean?
Well, there were lots of different kinds of breath work. Mm-hmm. I trained as part of my journey as a Soma breathwork coach. So Soma is intermittent hypoxia. But even just doing a little bit of breath work every day, just doing 2 minutes in the morning, lunchtime and dinner, of something like the box. So breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. But you always breathe in through your nose, and I always breathe out through my mouth. Now, when you breathe in through your nose, you have these wonderful little molecules that are made in the body called NO, nitric oxide. Now, NO is a miracle module. Miracle. And back in, I can't remember if it was 1936 or 1939, but Dr. Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize for discovering, he stated actually quite early on in his career that nothing, including cancer, could grow in an alkaline body. So you have to alkaline the body. And we live in a world where the body is very, very acidic now because we've been addicted, pushed to sugar and carbohydrates. The food that we're given is toxic. I did a post for the farmers earlier this year, and everybody's going, no farmers, no food. I'm going, no farmers, no food. Yes, there will be food, actually, and it'll be grown in labs, and it will be completely toxic and poisonous to our health. But they're not going to let us die while they need us. You have to alkaline the body, and NO is one of the best ways to do that. Structured water, easy water, exclusion zone. There are a number of things you can do.
How long do you do that breathing thing for, the 4-second one? How long do you do the 4-second in, 4-second out? How long do you...
I'm a little bit of a mad breathwork coach.
4 hours.
So, no, I did on my healing journey. I would frequently do a 4-hour breathwork. But now I do about 25 minutes in the morning. Wow. When I walk the dogs at lunchtime, I make sure I get some rounds of breath work in. I always take my shoes off, even if it's snowing, so that my feet are on the ground. And then I just do some light breath work at night. But obviously I don't want to kind of wake myself up with...
I'd say morning is the most important. That's when I just straight away, you're in a bedroom all night breathing in your own sort of recycled air sort of thing, and then you get air in the morning. It's like, oh, right, I'm awake.
And I mouth tape at night. Do you mouth tape?
So you breathe through your nose?
Yeah, just to make
Unfortunately, because I'm a bodybuilder, that would probably mean I'll die if I do that. But
the body is really clever. And I don't think it would let you die.
Yeah. Well,
I think it would just
neighbours would hear him snoring, that's for sure. if he just takes his mouth, he snores with his mouth open.
Yeah, so. The problem is because I literally, if I sleep on my back, the muscles on my chest, they sort of weigh down on my lungs. So it's just like whatever, and I can't sleep with a pillow because then that sort of restricts your airway a bit like that. So I have to either sleep on my side so I can breathe.
Really?
And then even then, it's just like, I've got really crap sinuses as well. So it's like the bottleneck of my breathing.
Stop talking to your body like that. I've got really crap sinuses. So what happens to the body? Because the body holds the score, okay? You know the works of Dr. Bruce Lipton, the body holds the score.
The body holds the what, sorry?
The body holds the score.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that isn't Bruce. He wrote the biology of belief. So your body believes everything that you tell it. So if you go, I've got really crap sinuses, your body goes, oh, we've got really crap sinuses. I can't breathe.
Oh, no, I should definitely speak more positive, but my sinuses
you just go, sinuses, I'm sorry, can you just wake up a little bit and just try, just have an afternoon nap one day with some mouth tape on and see what happens. And I tell you the mouth tape that I use, because I used to use just normal tape. You don't want any gaffer or any shit like that.
Rip my moustache off.
But I used to use the micropore. But then I interviewed Patrick McEwen from Oxygen Advantage on my podcast, and he does these lovely little mouth tapes that have the blue ones that go there, and they just kind of hold it in place. Try one of those. He designed them basically, for kids and everything, because if you have young children and they sometimes get ill, and if they vomited in the night, you don't want anything holding back the vomit, so they can't choke. So he did, design these, and they're great. I love mine.
I do actively try to sort of keep my mouth closed. You put your tongue to the ceiling of your mouth and hold it or whatever, but I end up, like halfway through the night, I wake up and my mouth's just so dry, and I'm like, oh, I've definitely been breathing through my mouth again. But I'm going to try the tape for sure.
Yep.
Donnie actually does a lot of breath. I meditation. Yeah, he does meditate.
I kind of stopped at the moment though, because just trying something out. Because I noticed something in my life here that when I start snowballing into that bad luck, have you ever had it where you get really bad luck and it starts piling on and it keeps happening? And generally, when that happens to me, I meditate and it just kind of balances out my energy. And for some reason, it all just disappears.
Yeah.
But I decided to just see how far it would go this time when I've been testing it, just to see
how
far.
Bad luck?
Yeah, just to see how far it would go. It went really far. It's gone really, really far. My car broke down on the motorway. I just wanted to see how far it was, to see if it's real or not, if it's just in my head. And I'm not actively observing it. So is it going to be bad luck?
Like you are.
I'm just watching and seeing how it's going, and it is actually continuing. But now it's kind of softened down, and I'm thinking, maybe I just need to get over a bit of a bridge. But I like meditating anyway, because it makes me feel very calm, very balanced. But I just wanted to see what the universe is trying to dish out to me, kind of thing, how far it would go. And it did go quite far.
It does push you to the limits, the universe. But it also has your back. And when it pushes you to the limits, it only does that to give you a big slap round the face and go, come on, wake up, Tony.
Well, that's the reason why I didn't want to meditate and almost get rid of it, make it disperse. I wanted to see what the message was. I wanted to see how far it was going to go. What are you trying to tell me that? And it has kind of gone away. I'm going to meditate for a very long time soon. but I just wanted to see, and it was kind of cool.
Come to my festival. I'm putting on my first ever festival.
Just telling me I was something find out about the tickets.
And we have got meditations galore going on there.
Okay.
We've got AJ Roberts, who's on your
He
wall.
loves that. Yeah. We spoke about that.
Well,
in
he's
detail.
actually going to come. Well, I'm going to do the opening ceremony. And do you know I've got a meditation album out?
Really?
Yeah, The Wellness Awakening.
Okay, well, I'm going to get that. So
It's free on Spotify and everything.
It's free?
I've just released it, yeah.
Okay, because...
Oh, he's all over that now.
Yeah, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. I like it.
I have to say, of all the work I've done, my album is called The Wellness Awakening, From Past Lives to Passing. And because you know that we're influenced by our ancestors and our past lives. So we start, I start the meditation, talking about the fact that your grandmother grew your egg. So what trauma did she have? Now, my mum and my granny, my mum was in World War II, my granny was in World War I. So, I've taken on all of that trauma. But if you go back, great, the amount of shit you've taken on from these people. And so, and we have to acknowledge that in order to start our journey forward. And then I just take you, the album is set up, so we start with self-love. And, in 2021, I wrote my book, The Natural Wellness Journal, because I just thought, I wrote it in 2020, I just thought if everybody knew what I knew, they'd wake the fuck up. So I just wanted to get something out there for people to have a point of reference on how we can heal quite easily. But the first exercise in my book, I actually asked you to take a photograph of yourself and stick it in. And I just write one line. I say, if I asked you to tell me the 10 things you love most in the world, when would you mention yourself?
No. The 10 things? Yes.
I don't know if I'd be in the top 10, but
No.
that's true.
Well, unless you said that, I probably wouldn't. In fact, would I even be in your list?
No, you wouldn't.
I guess you need to put yourself in the top 10. Yeah.
And-
you
Got
and
a kebabs.
But then I say,
KFC.
write down 10 things. The exercise is write down 10 things you love about yourself. And people find that... when I started my journey, I couldn't possibly write down one thing I loved about myself. I had such self-loathing. I trained classical dancer where you are never, ever enough. So, I had, every time I looked in the mirror, I just saw this massive fat lump. Even when I weighed 6 stone, I would see this massive fat lump.
You sound like
6
a bodybuilder
stone?
now.
Yeah.
6 stone.
That's very light.
That's super light. That's like a quarter of my weight.
I was the fattest girl at my school at 6 stone.
Oh, nice. I'm joking. That's
No,
messed up.
I know. It's full of
6
anorexics,
stone.
yeah.
Oh, God, that's
so,
harsh.
So, it's really important to learn to love yourself. So the first track is self-love. And then I take you through grounding, and it's all done with breath work and meditation. Or what else do we cover on there? Manifestation, because I am a shit-hot manifester me.
Are you actually?
Oh, God, yes.
Tell us
Oh,
a story,
my
Ian.
You
Let's
just
hear a
spoke about
manifest-
it with
I wanna
the
hear a
sinuses.
manifestation.
I have to tell my sinuses are better. They're not crap,
Yeah. no,
Manifest it.
You got to picture it though. That's what I've realised. You got to
You
really
do, yeah.
do the image. Like, don't do the words. Maybe do the words. I
No,
don't
no,
know.
do the image.
The image is
Everything.
supposed to be.
And the words,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the body listens to everything you say to it.
I was thinking about it. man.
Really important
Yeah.
to talk nicely to your body.
Okay. I was reading something before. I'll have to find it out when maybe a little bit later. But it was about having an inner dialogue with yourself. So and it's about talking to your subconscious like you're talking to a person. And you feel like you're crazy when you're doing it. But I do it quite a bit. Like I have these really when my mind and my body does something. Like say I'll see something and it makes something flash in my head from my parts. I'll be like, why did you do that? Like why did you do that for? Why did you bring up this thing to embarrass me in my head? And it'll be like I don't know. And we'll just have these back and forth conversations. It'll be kind of mad. There's a whole book on it. It's quite really interesting. And
No,
I just do that sometimes.
I was having coffee with a friend the other day, and this festival is costing me a fortune. But I'm a woman on a mission, and I'm not going to give up this mission. And I want to build the new NHS, Natural Health System. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So I'm getting my house ready to go on the market at the moment as a backup to pay for the, which hopefully I'm just going to tap on that. I'm also a mad tapper.
Listen, we need to manifest positivity.
No,
right now.
I know. We are manifesting.
Wait,
And
what's the tapping though? I
visualising.
need to know about the tapping.
I'll come back to
Yeah,
tapping.
okay,
I'll come back to tapping. So my friend, I was having coffee with her, and she said, "When are you getting your house on the market?" I said, "Well, we're looking, we're going to do it in September, I think." She said, "Why do you always say we?" She said, "It's you. It's your house. You live on your own. You're not married. Why do you always say we?" I said, "Oh, because I'm not alone, love. I make all the decisions with my angels." And she just sat there and she went, "I just don't know what to say to you, Dad."
She walked back slowly, disappeared.
She's one of the very few of my old friends. I have 3 old friends from my old life, but she thinks I'm as mad as a hatter. But yeah, I mean, I don't see myself as singular because we're not. We're all connected, and we're connected to our ancestors and everything. And and that's why I wrote the album. But I'm going to finish the album first of all. Shit hot manifesting, because I'm good at that. But on the last one, my sleep meditation, if you can't sleep, is phenomenal. Best thing I've ever written.
Yes,
He's
please.
all over that.
Oh my God.
Last night, let me just say real quick before you say that, last night, because I get a bit anxious about what I have to do the next day, I had a little photo shoot this morning, and I'd come and do this. I went to bed at 11 o'clock, I woke up at 2 o'clock, I went back to sleep till 4 o'clock, and I've been up since 4 o'clock because I couldn't sleep.
Blimey.
I'm the worst.
And then it just ruins the day after. When you have a bad
messed.
sleep, the day after just isn't the same, isn't it?
This is me messy, so I wish I was on point.
You're on point, love. You're
No.
on point. Now stop telling your body you're messy and you're not on point.
It's true, but it is showing.
You don't
Oh
look
my
tired
God, I'm
today,
on
though.
point.
You
Do I not?
Yeah, you look good.
If I close my eyes, I fall asleep right now. Probably, maybe.
Please don't.
No. It'd probably ruin the podcast. But yeah, I'm reading that chapter.
My sleep meditation, what I do is a lovely trick where we do a bit of breath work and we do sleepy breath work, and then you visualize a lift, and the lift is in the center of the earth. You press the button and you just bring it up, and then you press the button and the door opens, and in the corner is a rubbish bin, and you just pull out everything from your body and you just put it in the bin, and then you press the button, and so you think of everything that's upset you that day and triggered you, and you send that bin up to your guardian angel, and they will press the button, take all your shit away, and then you just tell your guardian angel what you really need in your life now, your gift. And do you know what? They have the power to give it to you. So they put it in the lift and send it back down to you, and you just take it out and you pop it in your heart. And the music is beautiful. It's by Paul Mannion.
I'm looking forward to that.
But the last track of the album, I take you to the last day of your life, and we just stand on a cliff together on the abyss and remember that we are the ancestors of the future. And then we just get ready to go.
Wow, that's like goosebumpy, man. I'm excited to do that. That's deep. That's deep.
Oh.
I'm looking forward to that. Damn, I want to go sleep. Also, that's just that's deep. That's deep. You're making me think. Yeah, sorry, no, go on.
No, I'm making you think what?
He was making me think about, you're saying you're talking about your angels and stuff, and he's making me think about, because I was looking, like, I'm quite spiritual a bit as well, but sometimes I just look more into like the actual processes of our brains and stuff, and like looking at the hemispheres. And that's who I have my conversation with. You have your conversation with your angels,
I do.
and I have my conversation with my other hemisphere. I imagine it as another person in my head.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know where I read a long time ago that that's where your traumas go. They go, your traumas go to the other side of the other hemisphere, which is not you, and it basically is controlling everything. So every time something happens, it jumps forward and takes over. And so whenever, like I was saying before, when I might do something and it might show me an image of something really embarrassing from back in my past, I go, why did you do that? And that's what I'm talking to, the hemisphere.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense to me. But then most people say I'm as mad as a hatter.
Schizophrenic.
But talking about manifestation, I'm going to tell you about my book. So when I decided to write it in 2020, I joined a Hay House writing course, and it was an online boot camp in a lockdown, and it was October the 16th, 2020, and there were about 1,000 of us on the course, and you could put your hand up. At the end of the second day, there was like an hour Q&A with Reed Tracy, who's the CEO of Hay House. Everybody had their hand up in the chat. And obviously I put mine up and I just visualised him picking me, and sure enough, he did. I said, hello. I told him a little bit about my story. I said, I'm going to write and publish a book this year. And he just laughed and said, good luck with that. Because we'd just done 2 days on how it takes a year to write a book, minimum. So he's kind of laughing. I said, no, I'm going to. And I told him what it was going to be. I signed up with Balboa Press after that course to self-publish, because he said, the only way you can do it is self-publish, and that is not possible. He said, how much have you written? And I said, well, I haven't started yet. And he looked at me as if I was mad. But I signed up the next morning to Balboa, 17th of October. I thought, right, I'm going to write a book, and one day I'm going to hand that book to Reed Tracy in person and just go, fuck you, I did it.
Yeah.
So I wrote 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, literally round the clock, and I was just downloading. I was just going, universe, just tell me what to tell people. Give me the simplest things that I can give, the simplest tools that I can give people to help them heal and to not be frightened and live in fear. And everything kept popping in. I'm going, oh yeah, that's it. So I signed it off on the 20th of December.
So was that about 2 months?
Of December, 2 months.
Yeah.
2020, winter solstice, Age of Aquarius, first day of the Age of Aquarius. I said to Balboa, please get this up before Christmas, because I've told Reed that I was going to do this. And they said, it's very tight now, but we'll try, because we know how hard. I was talking to them every day and going, can I put this in? And they're going, we need graphics. And, our graphic department, you bought the package, but it's 2 months for them to do the graphics. And my daughter's very good at art. And I'm going, darling, can you just do me a load of graphics for my book? And she did my logo, the air tree, and she did that in like 5 minutes. I'm going, perfect, I love it. Still use it as a logo. It's the roots of the tree in the soil, the strength of the trunk, and then the branches are all clouds for breathwork. So, and it's like, cool, that's clever, darling. Can you do me this? So, and the next morning I had them all back, and they're going, blimey, okay. Well, we need this now. And you've mentioned the photographs of Dr. Emoto. Have you written to Dr. Emoto Institute and got permission? I go, oh, do I have to do that? And they go, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I just look for an email. I send it, and I get his son emailing me back. And literally within 24 hours, he had chosen me what he thought were the best photographs for my book.
Amazing. Oh, wow. And giving you permission.
And giving me permission.
That's
I'm like, oh my God. And this was happening the whole time. And I'm just going, bloody hell.
Woman on a mission.
Yeah. So anyway, I signed it off. And then because they said it was tight, I said, okay, can you go to Amazon and ask them to put it up as a pre-order so that I've got it up before Christmas? And they just laughed and said, no. They would never, ever do a pre-order on a first-time self-published author. Unheard of in the history of Amazon. And so the other thing is a completely different format. So when we upload it, it takes Amazon 2 weeks to reformat it, and then they'll put it up as a pre-order. So that is a no-go. Get that out of your mind. Well, I don't like putting things out of my mind very much. So I was a bit knackered, obviously, after 2 months of writing like that. So I lay on my bed and I'm doing Soma breathwork. I'll come to the tapping later, EFT tapping. I'm doing meditations, one all day. It's the winter solstice, so it's just like, okay. Didgeridoo, that was a cracker. I did a didgeridoo meditation with headphones on and just felt it rippling through my body. And all I did all day was visualize my book on Amazon. So on the 23rd of December, I had a look on Balboa's webpage and I was up. So it's like, I can do that. One day I will hand Reed Tracy my book and go, I did it. And then on Boxing Day, I said to my daughters, I said, you know what, I'm going to look on Amazon. And they're like, oh, fuck's sake, mother, it's not going to be on Amazon. You know it's not going to be on Amazon. Why are you wasting Christmas just talking about your book being on Amazon? And I'm just like, let me just check. And it'd been niggling me. So I opened my laptop, and there I was on Amazon as a pre-order. And you can still see it today. My published date is the winter solstice 2020, the day I signed it off. How does the universe do this? So when I say I'm a shit hot manifester, and then I manifested meeting Reed Tracy, handing him my book, telling the story. I mean,
So that went down. How did that go down?
Yeah, how did it go down with him?
He was
Told you so,
yeah,
bro.
I
You're standing down, it's like clicking your fingers, like, hey, look at this.
No, I did another Hay House Writers course in Edinburgh. And there was a Q&A at the end of the first day, and I went up with my book and I said, hello, Reed, I doubt if you remember me, but I was on that call 3 years ago. And he said, yeah, I do remember you. And I said, well, I did it. Here's my book and my published date. And I told him the story, and I said, and I just want to hand it to you. And went, I did it. Thank you. And walked away.
How's about those apples?
Yeah. So I've submitted it endless times to the Hay House Writers competition. I've never won, so I think he thinks I'm a bit mad, but I don't give a shit because I'm so past caring what people think of me. But yeah, I mean, we have these extraordinary powers that nobody knows about. We all have them. We all have them. And now I have manifested my festival. And
let's talk about your festival.
Well, I'm going to talk about the manifestation first because I don't know why I'm doing a festival. I do. I was working with Barbara O'Neill, the wonderful Barbara O'Neill, who I did an event with last summer, which was sold out and was wonderful. And I was working with her in Scotland last year, and she didn't have any slots for this year. And then a slot became available. And I was talking to her, and I just said, oh, that's perfect. That's the weekend of my festival. And my daughter was with me, and she kicked me and went, what the fuck? And I went, I don't know where that came from, darling.
Did you just make up a festival right there?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Oh, I actually am organising a festival.
It came out.
Well, that's probably the angels, though, isn't it? Like, that's the guide.
One of those conversations.
That's my guides.
Yeah.
And I have lined up what I think is the best lineup in natural health in the world for this festival. I have Barbara on 2 days. I have Charles Dowding, No Dig Gardening, but he's not talking about no dig at my festival. He's talking about his new book, which is to do with electroculture and gardening. I've got Gaz Oakley, the wonderful Gaz Oakley, but I've got all these other brilliant people that have all said yes. And we are covering absolutely everything from meditation. Sober Breath are going to be there. My dear friend Suzanne Jane Taylor's Kundalini Awakenings. But AJ Roberts, he said yes. Now, I've put him on the main stage on Friday, the 8th of the 8th, for the 8 o'clock Lions Portal. So if you want a meditation, that is going to be the one to watch. We are going to open up that portal. We're going to call in our angels and have a right old party down there. But I've got loads of EFT practitioners, grief practitioners. We're going to be covering child sexual abuse because I think that's really important that is spoken about a lot now. I've got Emma Jane Taylor, who's from the charity 9010, coming to talk about it. She was sexually abused as a child, and she discovered that 90% of children who are sexually abused, it's by people they know within the family or close family circle, which is shocking. And she runs a campaign called #NotMyShame. So she's going to be there, and then I've got the tapping crew coming in to mop up the damage afterwards. We've got loads of practitioners, everything from acupuncture to, we're going to have little structures everywhere. So you can just go and try different techniques and work out what works for you. And then we've got music. We've got Danny Rampling DJing. We've got Mobius Loop. We're going to party as well. We're going to sing. We're going to dance. And oh my God, I can't tell you this yet, and I really want to because I've manifested this. Yeah. But it's not quite ready to release. Okay.
Live on.
Oh. Okay. So I can't tell you who it is yet. but I'm very, very, very excited about this. So the festival is at Wasing Park. So Wasing is normally home of Medicine Festival.
Yeah.
And they cancelled this year. And I got the slot. So I'm on this incredibly sacred land. And there's a beautiful cafe. Now, for me, it's very important that all the food is organic, that there are no seed oils, that, I've got a whole list of specifications. And there are... Everybody that is catering at this event is catering on the same wavelength as me. But at 1:30 on the Sunday afternoon, we're going to take everybody across for a very special Q&A in that cafe with some of the chefs, some of these incredibly powerful chefs, and we're going to do cooking classes all weekend, so you can go and work with top chefs and learn how to cook good food. So that'll just be a little course you can sign up for. And then we're all going to go live from there Sunday lunchtime, because I normally go live from Phyllis Kitchen Sunday lunchtime, talking about what I'm cooking that day.
This sounds absolutely amazing. I just want to come for the food now. Jesus.
Is it for the whole weekend?
Yeah.
So the whole week's on from Friday till Sunday?
Till Sunday. So we've got a VIP ticket available. So if you get the VIP ticket, you come into the enclosure, and it's not an enclosure, it's kind of like 50 acres of enclosure. It's in the woodlands, it's beautiful. So you come in early for a VIP lunch with Barbara O'Neill, who's the biggest name in natural health on the planet today. Over 1 billion hashtags on TikTok alone. Millions of followers, millions of fake accounts.
Most wanted woman in Australia. Yeah.
I've got a great podcast out with her and her husband Michael on that, and what actually happened. And it's terrifying that can happen to a naturopath.
Was it? She just basically got completely cancelled out for
being she was
real.
Arrested.
Arrested, yeah,
she was arrested. Yeah. She went to court, and they talked about the court case, and they had nothing on her. And yet they still banned her. Yeah. And even after they'd banned her from working in Australia, one day she was on a Zoom to India giving a talk, but it was on Zoom, so she thought, I'm not working in Australia, I'm working in India. Police knocked at her door and arrested her again, because they knew she was on a Zoom to India.
Madness, the world we live in. It's absolute madness.
Crazy.
That's mad.
It's crazy.
But what was she actually doing? Why should she be arrested for what, though?
Well, they couldn't find... her husband, Michael, has a political party in Australia and has been very awakened on the front line for a long time.
Oh, okay.
And so the Australian government just put out a call and said, right, who can take down Barbara? And all these people came forward, claimed that Barbara had tried to kill them, which she hadn't. There was no proof that they had ever been to her retreat or ever seen her. But they didn't care. But when it went to court, obviously they couldn't find anything. But they said that she was a danger to humanity for two reasons. One was suggesting that babies have raw goat's milk. And the other one was suggesting that if a baby was teething, you give them an apple core to chew on.
How dangerous.
Yeah. And for that, she can never work again. Damn. But, I mean, she says on my podcast, she said, I sat down and I cried and I cried and I cried for 10 minutes. And then I just asked, and I just asked God, what have you got in store for it now? And Michael, her husband, said, well, you can either, retire. You're at retirement age, so you can, it's not a problem. Or come up with another solution. And she said, I'll travel the world. So she now spends...
And she really does travel
9
the world.
months of her year. And every week she's in a different country, different town every night, on stage, talking and spreading the work. But we've got amazing talks with her. The lineup is just phenomenal. And I keep looking at it and pinching myself and going, I can't believe I have got all these people in one place together. It's just like, how have I done this?
And if anyone wants to get these tickets, where can they get the tickets for the...
My new website, which is... So I have my old website, phillyjlay.com, but we've just about built now thewellnesswayfestival.com.
Oh, there's a separate
Yep, we've had to build it.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
So is this going to be like a regular thing every year now? Or?
I don't know. I'm just going to tap on that because I've had no idea. I mean, who knew putting on a festival was so much work?
Yeah,
It is, and so much expense. You know, doing the house as a backup, but we need people to come and support it and get your ticket and bring a crowd, because this isn't just about covering my costs. No, it's quite substantially about covering my costs. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is about raising the vibe. We want to raise the energy vibration. We've got excuse me, lovely. The lovely Liam Parker from Full Power Cacao on the Saturday on the main stage, and we're doing a huge cacao ceremony and opening the heart chakra. The people, you know, and Liam's fully booked for the next 2 years since he won Dragon's Den. And then I asked him for this one date, and it's the only date he's got free in 2 years.
Oh, I see.
It's just magic.
I mean, it's just
magic.
It's manifestation. And so it's for the weekend. And what's the deal with seating? Is everyone camping?
You, in the price of your ticket, you get camping. You get a pitch, bring your own tent.
Yep.
Or you can bring in your camper vans. And we also have very, very beautiful glamping. Now, we chose a glamping company, and they were a bit pricey. And so we've just spent the whole of the last week, I had the whole team again just going, find a cheaper glamping. And I just want the best glamping we can get. And we found this beautiful company, quite a bit cheaper. So anybody that bought the original glamping will refund the difference, my lovelies, because we just want everybody to have the best experience that they can possibly have. I've rented a cottage for me and my children, and now I've seen the glamping tents, I'm really pissed off. I've paid for the cottage, and I'm like, I want to be in a glamping tent.
Now, the name of the festival is the Wellness Way Festival, and that's obviously named after your podcast, the Wellness Way podcast.
Yep.
You've been doing this for how long now?
3 years now,
3
just
years.
over
Wow.
3 years. At one episode, I was saying to Dolly earlier, I've put out an episode every single week for 3 years.
That is an achievement
And then
in itself.
some weeks, 2 episodes. You know, like Christmas, I release one on Christmas Eve with carols, or, you know, if it's an anniversary of my podcast, so I'll put an extra one in there. So, yeah, it's hard work, isn't it, going
It
out
definitely
every
is, yeah.
week?
And that's an achievement in itself, just bringing out one a week. Yes, but for 3 years. So how many episodes is that now?
157,
That's-
I think,
wow.
or just over.
That's amazing. And
yeah.
you've had some amazing guests on as well.
Again, shit hot manifested me. I opened with Dr. John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And I'd started a TikTok account when I wrote the book. And I was so scared of being in front of a camera, and my daughter was teaching me how to hold the phone up. I'm going, I can't do this. And she goes, fuck's sake, of course, you just hold the phone up. And so we had about a week of me crying while she taught me how to do it. But I got the hang of it. Built an account of 44,000 people really quickly. John Gray got me my first 1 million views, and then TikTok took the sound off it, and then they took it down. But it was such a funny clip, and he was saying the Taoists say that a woman should never masturbate or use a vibrator. You have to go and find a man. Otherwise, you'll put weight on. And at the end of that thing, I just put my finger up, and when I haven't put weight on, and he laughed. And so,
Of course, it got 1 million views.
so it got 1 million views. The majority of people were going, I was just about to report you until you put your finger up and went, I haven't put weight on. And lots of people resharing it, and then it got taken down. And then I got deplatformed completely.
Of course you did.
Yeah, and my first one they took down was the health benefits of radishes. Yeah.
Wow. Those evil radishes at it again.
Then stinging nettles, I got taken down for that.
What? So it got taken down because of that, or because of the person you was on the podcast with?
No, this was just me on my own, in my greenhouse, harvesting the last of my radishes that were, you know, I put the last kind of sow in there.
What did you
so
say?
I get I just said, you know, this little baby, I'm pulling the last ones for my freezer. I'm now putting them in the freezer for my smoothies for the year. Said what vitamins and minerals were in them. Did the same with stinging nettles. That got taken down.
Anything sort of natural, holistic.
Oh my God.
It just is like the enemy right now, isn't it? Big Pharma just can't stand us learning anything natural.
I'm very rarely up on YouTube because I'm normally on a ban, because you're not allowed to say anything on YouTube that isn't in full alignment with the World Health Organization.
Where's all your stuff on Rumble then?
Rumble, Spotify. We publish the videos on
Spotify's
Spotify.
good. We have the same problem. About a quarter of our episodes just got took down after like 2 minutes on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're no bars held podcast, so there's anything we say, it just gets flagged up straight.
Well, we find it's the people that get taken down, in it. It's the hot ones, innit? They get taken
his
down.
Name, AJ.
Yeah, we'll probably get taken down. I don't have to believe that.
Oh yes, yeah, I've actually just won an appeal on YouTube for an episode. They took me down for my 3rd anniversary, and I'd done my talk on all the amazing guests that I've had. I mean, there are maybe 2 people in the world that I want on my podcast that I haven't had on yet in 3 years. Everybody else I've had on: Zach Bush, MD, Dr. Bruce Lipton, Barbara O'Neill, Charles Dowdy. Everyone, Lynn Taggart. Wow. It's just like, I think of somebody and I go, oh, I'd like them on the podcast. And then within a week, it's done. I'm like, how the fuck does this happen?
It's your magic. I want this magic technique. I need it.
We all have it. Yeah. I mean, when I was dealing with the frozen shoulder, I had this lovely guy who I used to go to every week for a massage, and I used to tell him these little serendipitous moments that just used to happen in my life. Before I became a shit-hot manifester, I became a manifester. And I'd tell him the things that would happen to me. And he'd go, how do you do this? And I'm going, I don't know. And he'd go, will you do the lottery with me? I went, I don't do the lottery. Well, you please do the lottery with me. And I'm going, it's fine, I don't need to do the lottery. I know that the universe will take care. I have total faith.
You need to put that in the merch too. I'm a shit hot manifester. That's a cool t-shirt.
Pow.
It is. Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. I wonder if I've got time to do that for the festival. I don't know.
Cool.
I do have a t-shirt, The Universe Has My Back, with angel wings on the back, because the universe does have my back. And I have another one that says, into the woods I go to lose my mind and find my soul.
Oh, that's cool. That's deep.
And that should be the motto of the festival.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm a shit hot manifester.
Yeah, I don't know why.
But the festival's it's in the woods. And
into the woods I go to lose my mind and find myself. You get those on my webpage, phillyjlay.com. Shop Philly. Support my work.
Boom, boom, boom. Now, tapping, please.
Yes. Okay, let me have a sip of coffee and I'll tell you about tapping.
Get some petrol.
Okay. I don't normally drink coffee, but I've got a long day filming, I've got my London nootropics. So, tapping. When I started my journey, I started with diet and nutrition because that's all I knew about, and it had remarkable effects. I cut out all sugar for 6 months, including alcohol and carbs, everything. Did this journey, marvellous, feeling a lot better, but my marriage couldn't take what I was going through. I was very, I was a mare to live with. Dan would put aftershave on and I would scream like a banshee for an hour going, are you trying to kill me? Or he'd wear his shoes in the house and I'd scream like a banshee going, what if there's glyphosate on the bottom of them? So I was very, very difficult to live with. So my marriage kind of was falling apart, and it was my 22nd wedding anniversary. And I wasn't sleeping at all over that period because Polly had just died, my best friend. And it was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I kind of thought, I need to put something. I was really only on Facebook then, something on Facebook for my wedding anniversary. So I brought up a beautiful wedding photograph, and I went to write happy anniversary, and I couldn't. There was nothing in me that could say happy anniversary because the energy in our house was so horrible. And I just kind of thought, what shall I write? And I wrote something and posted it without even thinking. And I just said, it's it's with great sadness after 22 years that Danny and I have decided to separate. We had a lovely, wonderful marriage.
Did you tell him before you posted it?
This is how we found out.
That's the bit I forgot.
Oh, wow.
So this is how we found out.
My goodness.
That's
He
interesting.
wasn't on Facebook, and nor were my children. So I kind of thought I would have time during the day to tell him. But yeah, so I said we have a beautiful marriage, 2 beautiful children, but our paths have gone in separate directions. Your support and love will be greatly appreciated at this time. Hit send. Obviously, a lot of Danny and my children, it appears, friends were on Facebook. And they did find out. And it was a very difficult period of my life, to put it mildly. And rightly so. So it should be. But you don't do things. I didn't do it to be horrible or spiteful. There's still a part of me that loves Danny.
I see you're still wearing a ring.
On the other hand,
Yeah.
but we will always be connected through our children.
I love that.
And we,
That's amazing.
we tried to remain friends, and we did for quite a long time, and spend Christmas and birthdays together. We even went on, kind of swapped over on holidays with the children. So we'd just have one day together on the beach, and after his week, and then I'd have my week. But now he has a new girlfriend who absolutely fucking hates me. So that didn't work out so well. But, we still talk. And we're still there to support each other, and we're there to co-parent. But I had a message from a woman on Facebook who I hadn't seen for 22 years, called Penny Kroll, who's going to be at my festival. And she said, can you send me your email? I've got a course starting in September, and I think you should come. So I sent her my email. I had a look at the course, and it was something called EFT Matrix Reimprint. So I'd never heard of this. And I looked at it, and it was a bit pricey. And now I look at it and I go, actually, that isn't pricing, because you're training to be a practitioner. But I didn't know what it was. So I was just like, no. So anyway, I was just about to message her and go, thank you, I'm going to, give it a miss. And she messaged me at the same time and just said, oh, by the way, it's a gift. And when the universe gives you a gift, you always take it. I'm like, okay, thank you. I'll come. So it was in the September. And Danny lived not far from where the course was. So I said, I'm going to do this course with Penny Kroll. And he was going, all right, that's nice. He said, I'll bring the girls and we'll come and meet you for lunch every day while you're on the course, around the corner. I'm going, brilliant. So he rocks up with the children the first day, but I'm not at lunch because I'm sitting in this room and everybody is tapping. So EFT is emotional freedom technique. So it's basically acupuncture without the needles, and you're tapping on the meridians of the body. I'm getting very hot and sweaty in here. I can feel that.
The circulation is very poor. Sorry.
It is. That's all right. So you tap on the meridians, and then you've got the hands and the finger points, and you talk to your body while you do it. And I'm looking at this room full of people doing this, and I'm going, this is just insane. How can anybody think that this does anything for your health? And I kind of thought, how do I get out of it? And I thought, well, I can't go today because I know Danny and the girls are around the corner waiting for lunch. It was a gift. That would be rude. I just won't come in tomorrow. I'll say that somebody's ill in the family and I can't come. And then at 11 o'clock, for the second time in my life, I let out a scream that was so piercing that I had no idea where it came from. And I felt like somebody was stabbing me. I actually could feel the knife in my right hip. And then I thought I was going to have a heart attack, and my heart was palpitating, and I thought, I'm going to die. And I fell on the floor, and I'm screaming at them to get me an ambulance. And despite having given up Western medicine, when you feel like that, it's like, get me an ambulance, get me a fucking ambulance now. And nobody would get me an ambulance. And Penny picked me up and put me on a chair and started tapping on me. And I was so angry and I was screaming for an ambulance. And she was saying, and she's just tapping, and they're all sitting there. Nobody kind of challenges her and gets their phone out. They're all sitting there, and they're all tapping. This is insanity. And then she's bringing me in with this tapping and saying, give it a colour, give it a form. Where is it in your body? What can you see? And I go, oh my God, my heart is bright red and it's exploding. It's like this bomb going off in my heart. And she'll say, okay, and what intensity? And she's tapping on me and she's tapping down my spine. And then this goes on for a couple of hours. And then it was lunchtime, 1 o'clock lunchtime. And before we went to lunch, and I'm still kind of crying on the chair, but I just didn't know what had happened to my body. And Penny hit the screen and said, and that was a perfect example of chasing the pain. And I sat there and I just thought, what the fuck has just happened to me? And I was just like, yeah, all the pain's gone. What's just happened? And I couldn't understand it. So I did the course, I did the next course, I did the next course, I did another course with her on metaconsciousness, which is where I learned about the parts of the body and what they mean, and my frozen shoulder taking the weight of the world, the tumour in my throat is, not being heard. So, the meta for everything. And it is the most phenomenal technique you will ever have. It's beginning to become a little bit mainstream media now. They had it on EastEnders recently, where somebody walked into a young girl's bedroom and she was tapping. They go, what are you doing? You look mad. I'm doing this thing called EFT. And then talks about it a bit. So they're trying to get it out there, even mainstream, but it works on everything. It is quite extraordinary.
So could you do it for yourself, or would you get someone else to do it for you?
Okay, so the lovely thing about EFT is it's free. You can do it yourself once you know the tapping points. And I have them in my book and up on my webpage. And, it doesn't matter what order you do them in, but there is an order given. The UK order is slightly different to the American order. The American order, they start, eyes, side of eye, under eye, nose, chin, and then you've got the collarbone here. So you come down the collarbone, down an inch, and tap there. Then you've got the underarms there, then the wrist, then you get...
What's the explanation for it all, though?
It's the ends of the energy meridians.
Oh, okay.
It's the Chinese
and
energy.
Letting stuff out, or you putting stuff in?
You're releasing stress and tension.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And everything that's held in the body. But it works for phobias and money problems. And, that's, with my book. I did a lot of tapping that day my book was released. Just to let the universe know that all stress had gone from my body and the universe was going to make it happen. But the body holds the score. It keeps hold of every single thing, every trigger you've ever had in your life. And this is just the simplest technique in the world to get rid of it.
Since you've been here, you've done this one a few times. I mean, you said there's other ones. What's this one?
Okay, so when you become an advanced tapper, and you've done a lot of it like me, you find a comfort point. So for me, my comfort point is the collarbone. Come down the collarbone, tap an inch. And so, I do this the whole time. Whenever, anybody says anything that triggers me or I don't like, I just tap. And
so that one calms you down?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It calms me down. I do. My children always joke, because, I can just be kind of sitting there at the dinner table, listening to a conversation, and then all of a sudden I'll kind of go, and they go, what's up, Mum? I'm going, nothing, I'm just listening. And they went, you're tapping. And I went, sorry, yeah. And they said, so one of us has just said something. And I go, yeah.
That's good. If everyone was like that, that'd be so cool, wouldn't it? Because you feel like you have to read your mind all the time with people. If someone just started doing that, you'd be like, all right, what's up?
But you do it naturally. People tap, that anxiety thing, when you just tap your fingers on a table, and you tap your feet.
Doing this a lot as well, people tend to do this.
Well, that's called havening.
Oh, okay,
so I love a bit of havening. Yeah. So that is
soothing.
That is touch therapy, where you just stroke yourself and you just put your hand under your arm or on your heart even.
What's wobble? I do this a lot. I wobble my foot. What's that?
That is the shake. Fight or flight, shaking.
I'm trying to run away.
Shaking it out.
Are you always fight or flight?
No, believe it or not, it's actually when I'm in bed. That's weird, actually.
Okay, so you would be shaking out anything that's triggered you during the day.
Oh, okay.
When you go into fight-flight mode, and you start shaking, you know, when you have a traumatic release. But even if there isn't a big traumatic release in your life, there will have been some trauma going on. Every day we have trauma, and there's nothing we can do about it. And we have triggers, you know, whether it's, you know, the person that cuts you up or the traffic warden that gives you the ticket that you have no intention of paying ever. But it still triggers you. Yeah. So you're just shaking it out.
So if anyone wants to read about the EFT tapping stuff, where can they find it? On your website?
In the book?
In the book.
It's in my book.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've got lots of episodes up on my podcast. So I've got a solo episode. When I start it again, I do everything very quickly, me. It's just, I say I'm going to do it and I do it.
Yeah.
It's just like, after I got deplatformed of TikTok, and I just thought, motherfuckers, what can I do? Where can I go where I won't be deplatformed? And so I thought, I might start a podcast. So I signed up with a podcast agency. I said, right, I'm starting a podcast. And we spent kind of like a week and a half talking about it. And I want to go live now. And they're going, but we haven't done, you know, kind of, you know, nothing. We've got to do a nice little, you know, thumbnails, and we've got to do your album cover, and we've got to decide what it's called. And I said, well, I'll just ask my Instagram followers what to call it. And the lovely Christina came up with The Wellness Way with Philly J. Lay. I go, I've got a name. Can we start now? I go, have you filmed anything? I said, I haven't actually filmed anything for a podcast, but in 2021, after I wrote my book, I managed to get an Airbnb on my house that gave me a chunk of money. And I thought, oh, what shall I do with that? And I thought, I'll film my book. So I made a video series of my book. And I'd never done anything like this. And I just hired these two young guys and said, will you come into my house? And we're just going to film my book, chapter by chapter. And they're like, yeah. And I kind of thought, okay, I can do that. So we did it. And I said, well, I've got this 33-part series, which I now call the Wellness Way Faster Class, because what I discovered on my journey was I would fall asleep if I was listening to something for too long, because I had this chronic fatigue. And I'm very on the spectrum, ADHD, and, you know, I'd be diagnosed, apart from it wasn't invented in my day. But I don't have a long attention span. So I thought, how do I just make everything into kind of between 6 to 15 minutes? I'll do a faster class. And I just tell you, if you like this, go and study Bruce Lipton. Go and study so-and-so. Go and study Dr. Gerald Pollack, you know. And so I just point you in the right direction if you want to know more. But I just give you enough of the facts that you go, actually, this might be quite interesting for me.
Faster class.
I had those fuck you moments on my journey where I saw things and it's like, fuck me, why did I not know about this? Why are we not told about this?
Yeah.
As I just wanted to hand over all my fuck me moments, really.
And you've made like almost like an encyclopedia reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
And so what I did when they said, have you filmed anything? I said, no, but I've got the faster class. So just put the first 8 episodes up of the faster class. And I promise you, by the time you've aired those 8 episodes, I will have my first podcast in the can. And they're like, okay. And then we started, and I hadn't even met Dr. John Gray, but I met him a week later. We set it up. I filmed with him. I lost it on the Zoom. So there was a very nervous night spent on WhatsApp, FaceTime with my daughter. And she was going, how can you lose a fucking recording, mother? And I'm going, I don't know. But I found it. The first person I was meant to film was actually Patrick McEwen. And that was all set up from Oxygen Advantage. And there's a little video that we put up in my 3rd episode where I'm literally sitting in my podcast studio, picking up, and I've got my phone up there, picking up, going, oh, there's a right and a left headphone. Okay, should I right, left? And then reading the notes that my daughter gave me, ready to film that night with Patrick. But I actually couldn't work them out. I did a lovely little video, but I couldn't work out how to send a Zoom, how to copy the link, because I was a complete technophobe. I'd never used technology in my life. And we got to about half an hour before we were meant to start filming. And I actually thought, I have no idea how to do this. So I don't have phone signal in my house. So I drove down to my nearest town. And I just emailed Patrick McEwen and said, can you call me? I've got my Wi-Fi is down. So I just lied and said, my Wi-Fi is down. I'm in my local town, so I can email you. So he called me. And I just said, I'm so sorry. My Wi-Fi does go down a lot. And he said, okay, but I don't have another slot for 4 months. And I'm like, because I thought he'd just go, well, fine, we'll do it tomorrow. And I'd learn how to do it overnight. And he said, well, I haven't got another slot for 3 months. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was phoning my agency going, and they're going, fuck's sake, you can't just book in with people when you don't know what you're doing. I went, I didn't realise it was so hard. So the following night, I had to do Dr. John Gray. And then I lost that podcast. And I told you before we started filming this as well, that I interviewed Dr. Peter McCullen about a month later, and I forgot to hit record. So that's an interview.
Stressful when that happens.
Yeah. So I just kind of thought, anyone could do this.
But they can, though.
But they can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the joy of it. It's just all I...
And anyone could forget to press the record buttons. Just
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty common thing that happens.
Yeah. When did you do that? Don't you tell us when you did it?
I did it the second episode, and I've never been able to live it down because I get reminded every single month, every single week, every single time I press any sort of record button. I also have flashbacks whenever I'm on a job, and I press the record button, and it haunts me. I see Andreas's face coming to my head. That was really good.
Well, I'm very conscious of the time, Philly. This has been an absolutely amazing conversation, and I would love to carry this on, but I'm very conscious of the time, and I know you have another podcast to go and film in a couple of hours later on in Central
But before
London.
I do that, I'm jumping in your cryo.
Oh, 100%. We're going to go upstairs into our wellness centre. You're going to do a cryo. What else do you want to do?
Oh, your massage chair.
Massage chairs, definitely.
Yeah.
If we have more time, we'll stick you in the hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
Oh my God, you've got everything. You're my dream gym. Absolute dream gym. It's just like, little bit of cold therapy, a little bit of...
In return, though, you're going to have to manifest us a load of stuff.
Okay.
We're going to send you a list.
Okay.
Manifestations.
Okay, let me manifest
I
something.
need a new computer.
Let me manifest something out with festival first.
Yeah, let's get that
and keep in my house. Let me get that on. And call on me in September, and I'll do a bit of
we didn't actually say when the festival actually is.
She did say, was it the 8th?
Yeah, 8th to the 10th of August.
8th of August.
But on the 5th of August, I am at the College of Naturopathic Medicine with Barbara. So my mission now, because I haven't got enough to do, so I need another mission, is I'm working on building the new NHS natural health system, because I believe with all of my heart there are 2 places you've got to stay out of if you want to be healthy. One is the supermarket, the second is the doctor's surgery.
Couldn't agree more.
But it's all well and good me sitting on a podcast and telling people all these amazing things that they can do for their health, but we've got to give them somewhere to go. Because when you start that journey on your own, it's incredibly lonely and people think you have gone mad. And we are all a study of one. We're all completely different. And you can't go, you've got to go vegan, you've got to be carnivore, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to do tapping. You have got to find out what suits your body and what your body likes. And then you've got to run with it and make it a habit. And so my mission is to build this new NHS health hubs. So I've teamed up with the People's Health Alliance, and they are going to be at the festival, and we're doing a health hub at the festival, but we're doing a very intimate one at C&M, College of Naturopathic Medicine in King's Cross, London, on the 5th. And with that, you will get half a day with Barbara O'Neill, just 140 of you in a room with Barbara, where we're going to have a talk from her and then a Q&A. You will spend your other half of the day going and doing workshops, going and talking to practitioners. You might not have tried something like reflexology. I mean, do you do reflexology?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my God, when you have pressure points on your toes and your feet. Okay. Oh my God.
Acupressure points.
Acupressure points. It's heaven on earth. If I'm watching a movie with my children and they're in their mid-20s now, if I don't give them some reflexology, they wouldn't sit on the sofa.
It's insane. Like, you can literally change your emotions just from pressing certain
Have you done it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, where? You went to a place to go and do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do it yourself as well.
But you can just go on Google and get a map up of the foot. And it
I
shows you.
saw that the other day.
I have put that map in my book. Of course you have. And the hands. Again, that was another graphic. It's like, Tali, we need to do the maps of the acupuncture. She's going, what are they? And I'm going, okay, Google them and then just make a picture to kind of match, but we can't use their picture. And she's going, okay. So, Barbara would just send me all this stuff going, we can't publish without this. I'm going, that's fine, you'll have it by the morning. That's fine, you'll have it by the morning. The motto of my life.
Yeah, that's funny.
But with these health hubs, so you'll spend half a day with practitioners doing workshops. We've got the lovely Clive Dakar there with his magic chairs. Just learning everything that you can possibly learn. And, our goal is very much that my goal is that when I pass over from this planet, I would like every town and city in the UK to have a health hub. So if you have any concerns about the treatment you're getting from a doctor, if you believe that they are drug pushers for, every drug has a side effect. And you need another drug to counteract the side effect from that first drug. And that's why people like my mum, by the time she passed, was on 17 drugs a day. And no matter how many times I took her to the doctors, they wouldn't cut them back because they said they were all needed. So, we need to put a system in place that people that have concerns can go somewhere and find alternatives and find what suits them.
I don't have any doubt in my mind that you're going to accomplish this goal, Philly. Jesus Christ.
It's quite a big gig, this one.
Yeah.
But, I'll do my best. I'll give it a shot. I always do.
Amazing. So, right, we've got the workshop on the 5th with Barbara and Mill.
It's called a health hub.
Health hub.
Yep.
And
So
that's in central London.
Central London,
King's
CNM.
Cross. Then we have the Wellness Way Festival, the weekend of the 8th.
Yep.
What else have we got? Is it that?
That's it. Sign up for my newsletter because it's phillyjlay.com. Keep connected just in case I get disconnected in other areas. Always best to keep up to date with my newsletter, and we'll let you know. You will be the first to know on my newsletter who these wonderful chefs are that I'm doing Philly's Kitchen with. You find out everything before it goes out on Insta. I also have my community, and that's spelled community, T-E-A, because I am passionate about herbal teas.
Oh my God, I'm a tea connoisseur as well. I absolutely love
herbal teas.
But I make my own. I forage.
Do you have the glass kettle with the mesh? Yeah, I do it literally every day.
Yeah.
I have organic honey, which my friend in the gym gives me from Poland. His family has a beehive farm.
What tea are you drinking then?
Everything. Like at the moment, I'm loving just mint and chamomile flowers.
Well, they're both in season at the moment.
Yeah,
so they're beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. And then
I make sure I have stinging nettle in there every day, dandelion root. I always put some star anise in because it's very good for the shedding, and pine needle teas for the same reason. And licorice, because licorice is the master blender.
These are all magical ingredients.
So
what's that mean? It's the master blender.
It just draws all the flavours together.
Oh, okay.
It's what's known as the master blender.
Mixer.
So I have my community. We meet once a month on Zoom with me, and we have a herb of the month. So June we have we're studying echinacea, which is a little beauty of a plant. And then we just talk about everything. We have a very lively WhatsApp group. I wake up in the morning, 58 messages. It's just like, wow. But everybody is chatting and passing such, somebody will wake up in the morning and go, oh, I've woken up with cystitis. And everybody's going, demand on.
They've got an answer 5 minutes later.
So, we're just, it's a great community. A lot of them coming to the festival. And I'm feeling very, very blessed, really.
Let's manifest it. We need more ticket sales.
We do.
And of course, we've got your book, your website, and your podcast, The Wellness Way.
The Wellness Way with Philly J. Lay. And remember my tagline, the doctor of your future is you.
Come on.
Now you do your tagline.
All right, well, yeah, you're about to do the tagline. Yeah. So two things we do at the end of every podcast is, firstly, I think you might have just done it there, but we ask everyone, give us your punchline, your motto, your words of inspiration, whatever it can be a couple of words, a couple of sentences, a paragraph, whatever it is.
Well, I've done my tagline, the doctor of your future is you, so I'm going to give you another line, which is the last quote in my book, and it's also on my album. And this is taken from a poster that I bought for like 10p, showing my age, in a local shop when I was 13, I think it was. And I had it above my bed, and it was just a picture of the moon reflecting on the night sea. And it was beautiful. And very simply written on it was, the important thing is this, not what you are, but what you can become.
Love that. Absolutely love that. We're spoilt for choices on the title of this episode now. And then the final thing, Philly, I'm sure you've heard me say this probably a million times, but you know my sort of motto. I go, hey, come on. You have to say it.
I can't be cool like you. I'm in my 60s, for fuck's sake.
You're cooler than me. What do you mean?
Man, you're the coolest person we had on.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
Hey, come on.
Come on, yes.
Let's go.
Well done, Philly, yes.
One for me.
Oh, sorry,
I was there for ages as well. So that's right.
Thank you so much, Philly.
That's amazing.